the texture mapping on the computer. How to use it without uploading to the cloud. In this video, we will exchange with you the local material library for ArchiWood. Open the ArchiWood client-side panel. Find Start Design under the Cabinet module. Then you can see below, there is an icon for the local material library. Clicking this icon will pop up the material library panel. Meanwhile, we can also in the SketchUp extension program, below the menu, we can see the option of Local Material Library. In the secondary menu, there are Import Materials, Local Material Library, and Material Substitutor. We know that there's a library of materials in the cloud inside the ArchiWood. In Zhongxiuming, below the Material menu of the ArchiWood product library, we can see, here, there are many cloud material libraries. As long as we have internet, we can use it after logging in. But sometimes, we have many texture maps on our computer, which is inconvenient to upload to the network. At this time, we can use the local material library to manage these texture maps on the computer. Through this function, quickly call and use them. Using this function is also very simple. First, we need to import materials. We can find the local material library. Find the local material library. Click Import Materials. After clicking, a panel for importing materials will pop up. We can click the Add Image icon in the upper left corner. Click Add Single Image and import and make one by one. Or you can drag multiple images. Drag and drop them into the left area to upload and make a batch of images. Next, we will demonstrate them separately. First, we click the icon to add images and then find our picture. Here, we can select some pictures at will, such as wood grain. Click Open. OK, at this time, the material of wood grain 02 is automatically loaded, and the material name is automatically adapted. We can set the texture direction here. We can set vertical or horizontal stripes. We can set the size of the current material. The default is 2.4 meters by 1.2 meters. We can also set the thickness of the material, and material code, and material brand, the base material and type of the material. For example, we can set the base material of the material to OSB, and the type of material. We can set it to be non-painted. Then we can below to select a material classification. By default, it doesn't have a material classification. There is no material classification here. We can create a new folder on the right side and add our classification. Click this icon and write OSB. After writing, click OK. OK. At this time, we can see that there will be a file name of OSB. We click to select it. After selecting, we can click the OK button in the lower right corner. Import. At this time, we can see it automatically generates a preview of the current material. This preview is mainly for us to check its effect. We can delete it at any time. After importing, we can click on the local material library, this icon, to refresh it first. After refreshing, we can see here, we can see the folder of OSB. We click to open the folder. We can see the texture map we just uploaded. Okay, this is what we mentioned. Uploading a single material texture. If we want to uploading texture maps, we need to prepare our materials first. For example, here, to upload these textures, I have already prepared them here. When preparing material textures, what we need to note is that the texture map, this image, its resolution is recommended to be 512 by 512 pixels. It is not recommended to have a high resolution. Second, we recommend that you use seamless texture maps. Is seamless texture mapping okay? Next, we can adjust its size. Then we can bring up SketchUp. Well, here, we can also open the Import Materials option. Of course, we can add these commands to add shortcuts, which will make the operation more efficient. Okay, let's select these materials. After selecting them, and then drag it to the right material area, and drag it to this place. A blue dotted line box will appear. Then we release the left mouse button. Okay. At this time, we can see the corresponding texture map will be dragged in. In this way, we have completed a batch of quick uploads. We can see that for each material, its material name, is automatically adapted. Next, we can write the information about it. To write information. Well, if we don't need to enter too much information here, enter too much information, we can directly. To select the folder of the corresponding board. For example, if there is no folder for the board we need here, we click Add here. We add a particle board. Click OK. Then there will be a particle board folder. After selecting it, we suggest selecting from top to bottom, so it won't be messy. Okay, we select the particle board. Secondly, the second one is the same. We need to check here. We need to check if we have selected the particle board. Okay, we select each texture map. Select the corresponding folder, and then click the upload button in the lower right corner. Well, in this case, we will upload these images. It will automatically generate a material preview. This material preview, we can view it here. This is only for viewing. We can delete it at any time. Then we open the local material library again. This icon, click refresh first. After refreshing, we can see there will be a folder for particle board. The texture we just uploaded is in this place. So this is what we call the local material library. How to upload materials and create our local material library. Next, we will draw a model in the SketchUp drawing area and conduct a mapping test. First, we pick the interior space and then remove a cabinet frame here. After entering the corresponding parameters here, it can be automatically placed. After placing this model, we pick the interior space again. Then enter 11 in the number input box in the lower right corner. In this way, we have drawn a simple model. Of course, we can copy the model and set this model as unique. After clicking, so the two cabinets will not be associated, then we can assign materials to the model. To assign materials. Okay, let's go back to the previous level. Then click on the OSB. We need to click on the model to select it. Then click this icon. Then the material settings panel will pop up. Setting panel. We can select the door here, or the cabinet body, or a combination of doors and cabinets. Now, we want to turn this wood grain material into a cabinet. Then we click on the cabinet. In this way, the cabinet will become the wood grain material. If we want to change the cabinet door to white material, okay, we click to select the cabinet first. Click on the OSB board, then click on the white material. Then click on the cabinet door. In this way, it will become white. Of course, we can change to a different color. In this way, we can replace the material of the cabinet door we need. So we can see that the local materials is very simple to use. Of course, when we use local materials, when replacing materials, we can see there will be an option for material replacement. Click it. After clicking it, the material panel will pop up. After it pops up, at the same time, it will display the material corresponding to the cabinet we selected. Now, press the spacebar, switch to the selection tool, then click the cabinet on the right. We can see the material on the cabinet will be displayed. Then we can see here, see the current number of the material. And here we can, to see if it is local material replacement or cloud material replacement. If we click the local material replacement, then a local material library panel will pop up. The local material library panel, we can choose here. Of course, this is already displayed here, so it doesn't change. After we close it and click it again, we can see the local material library panel. It will pop up automatically. At this time, if we want to replace the cabinet body, we need to find the material to replace the cabinet. Click it. It's replaced. Okay. Next, we need to replace the material of the cabinet door. We can use cloud materials. Click it. At this time, the cloud material library panel will be displayed. For example, we still choose a yellow one. Click on yellow. At this time, we can see that the yellow is assigned to the cabinet. In this way, we can use the local material library or the cloud material library to assign materials to our model. Okay, that's all for this video. If you have any related questions, welcome to the after sales service group to communicate with the technical teacher. Thank you all.